Human history, people have reported seeing dark, shadowy, human-like figures stalking from afar.
Something forcefully took Dennis Martin off that hill, and nobody will talk about it.
Every fifth call I go on, I end up running across a set of stairs.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
By the end of the war, the Americans started to realize that the Germans had fantastic technology.
In 1989, Al Bielek came forward to reveal his participation in the astonishing Philadelphia experiment, and that he had survived time warping.
And I've said it many times, folks, we are at war. Those who are managing it and controlling the people while it happens are those who are masquerading as government.
When you look at the map, could we be looking at the remnants of the members of ancient worldwide civilization?
The grand architecture. Who built all this?
Good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing on this wonderful Sunday night? Welcome to episode number 22 of Spooky Sundays. I will be your host for the evening, Dr. Crocko. Every week we come up with a new set of mysteries, conspiracies, odd things in our world to bring to you guys. And tonight's topic will be about underground bases, inner earth, Agartha, high-speed rails that connect the elites, and a little thing called Mel's Hole. It's very nice to see everybody. So glad to see a good crowd here tonight. And we are all in the mood to get away from the quarantines and the pandemics and all of our world's problems, to have a little fun and just let everything out of our mind and listen to some spooky stories. So how is everybody doing? I see there's about 100 people here already. I really like to see that. Anybody new here, welcome. We're very happy to have you. And to all my loyal subscribers, I thank you so much. Now, I have to get two things ready before I started. I want to make sure the chat is on the screen, or we'll have to change things up. We'll have to get Dr. Crocko on the scene. Your host, Dr. Crocko. Just give me 1 second to fix that. All right. And as I do it, it looks like it's all good now. It's funny how that happens. All right. Very professional here. Perfect. All right. Hopefully the chat looks good on the screen and everything just keeps rolling along. So, how's everybody doing here? Last week we did an episode number 21 where we went through some dogman activities. I hope anyone that's here could share the stream out. It'd be very helpful for all of us, but I just appreciate everybody being here. I might change the chat color on the screen, but we'll have to deal with that another time. Like I said, tonight's topic is going to cover everything from America's vast underground tunnels, secret military bases, maybe a fight with aliens underground, the mystery booms, the elite's underground bunkers, Mel's Hole, Phil Schneider, and we'll see how far we get after we get through all of those topics. So without any further ado, I say we jump right into it. Was going to wait a few minutes for people to make their way in, but I think we are ready to get away. Again, before we start, my name is Dr. Crocko. This is Spooky Sunday, and if anybody here would like to help out the show, donate the show in any way, I will give you those links in the chat, and the options that you could go through is PayPal, but you could also write a comment on stream to have it read throughout Streamlabs, and I will get to those towards the end of the show. So it's paypal.me/Davey Crocko or streamlabs.com/Crocko Show. Have its own Streamlabs, not connected with the other channels. Very lovely to see everybody. I see Katie Reed. I see Al, Fate, Linda I know is in the house, Social Observer with a Phil Schneider, yes, and $1.99 super chat. We appreciate it. Now, the next donation that comes in, I'll see if my thing worked. I tried to set up some kind of text thing, but I'm probably going to have to read them. But there should be a thing that like flashes across the screen to say that you gave a donation. If it doesn't work, then, you know, I just screwed up on that one. Mr. Smith, very good to see you. Okay. 10 minutes of babbling just to wait for people to get in. I think we're ready for the show. Now, many individuals claiming to having to see weird creatures underground also report that they saw human scientists and/or military personnel underground with them. Then you guys can let me know about the music levels too. These observations indicate that at least one or two groups that are rogue or sanctioned intelligence groups are acting in unison with whatever race of creatures are living underground. Since most black budget scientific military operations are conducted from, hidden subterranean command centers, it makes research into this sightings and other things you see very hard to find. Government whistleblowers and retired military personnel have publicly stated that during their employment, they observed that our government has a massive network of tunnels with high-velocity trains linking secret underground bases. Thomas Costello, a former Dulce base security officer, reported an associate at Dulce had a tube shuttle station linked to several other secret underground bases, and they've actually mapped these out, and we will be getting through all of that. At first hearing these statements, they seem too far out to be true. We've all seen television shows about tunnels, and they always show how expensive, dangerous, and disastrous near-surface tunnel construction can be. So obviously an undertaking such as constructing a massive sci-fi-like network underground tunnels would take too much money and hundreds of years to build. Not so, say scientists. Robert Salter, 1972, who was a lead scientist with the RAND Corporation, announced during an interview with the LA Times science writer George Getz that a high-speed system could be built existing these 1972 technologies. In August of that year, Salter wrote RAND document P4874. The publication was titled The Very High-Speed Transit System. The 17-page report detailed the technologies involved to make a possible underground high-speed rail that could reach up to 14,000 miles per hour. By 1978, the proposal grew into dimensions and attracted serious consideration from government officials, intelligence departments, and the U.S. military. Even though the National Geographic, History, and Sci-Fi channels have programs exposing underground cities and ancient civilizations, only our imaginations can provide insight into how extensive a national security network of tunnels might be if the black operations world were given the green light. Now, most of the time they call these deep underground military bases DUMBs. It's one of their terms they use to explain what it is, a DUM. It's not dumb, they just call it a DUM. At some point you might know the U.S. is rumored to have secret high-speed VHST, very high-speed transit systems. It is used from anywhere to shuttling workers, around to their secret underground bases, to being favored by corporations, shadow government personnel, black ops, etc. It is rumored to cruise at speeds of 14,000 miles per hour. Government whistleblowers and retired military personnel have publicly stated that during their employments they observed that our government has a massive network of tunnels with super velocity trains linking underground bases. Thomas Costello, a former Dulce base officer, reported an associate that also had a tube shuttle station linked to several other military bases underground. And this will be a common theme. And I'll try to give you some examples of some maps and some other things that were used. Tunnels' secret include military uses, underground military networks. As government scientists and funds literally shoot from the stars, with NASA missions and the new Space Force, other major programs are heading the other way, into the Earth, into Agartha. Now, conspiracy theorists, us wackos over here, have long wondered what facilities exist underground. Secret bases, perhaps hardened shelters to protect the elite in government and industry in the event of a catastrophic event. Say like a pandemic came out of nowhere and these people needed somewhere to go. Do you think they have deep underground military bases that they can travel from one to another? That sounds very likely to me. From Mystery Wire Archives, a multi-part investigation that travels deep beneath the Earth's surface to see what's down there. We're going with state-of-the-art work here, a Nevada test site work folder told us. These tools we brought in are from labs and then adapted them to underground environments. Tunnels that run for miles, some with their own rail systems, bases that stretch out in many directions, secret technology that can only be tested far under the Earth's surface. Investigative reporter George Knapp, he's the guy that behind the Bob Lazar story, was given unprecedented access to the classified labs, programs, and personnel. So George Knapp did an investigation on this. And you can see some of the outlines. They do these tunnels, they bore them out, and then there's a high-speed rail that connects every single base. You can jet across the country in, the matter of seconds. Because why would any elite need to travel with us underclass folks? Now here's a map of U.S. government underground facilities and the military bases, and you can see how they can connect. Area 51 is on there, but you can go from California, and these are all linked throughout the whole country. Survival expert Robert Vicino claims that world leaders know the end of the world is coming and are secretly preparing the underground bunkers. That sounds a lot like the pandemic that we're in right now, or what the elites would have you call it, a plandemic, because they know this was coming. That's why they ran all their simulations. But don't worry, they have elite underground bases already set up for themselves. A U.S. expert claims massive complex has been built under Denver and linked to Washington by high-speed trains. I hear a lot of rumors that is the Denver airport, the mysterious Denver airport with all their murals that one of these underground bases start. Now, he is the head of a film company, Robert Vicino, and he's claimed governments, including the U.S. and the U.K., are making top-secret plans to save their skins, which don't include us. As George Carlin said, it's a big club, and you ain't in it. He said they are using huge drills to dig under huge underground bases below the Rocky Mountains, connected by high-speed trains for a select few. He cites a recent emergency drill in Russia as proof that the end may be near. He also told the Daily Star they do not have a plan for you or me, but they have a plan for themselves. You have to ask yourself, why did Russia just have a drill for 40 million people? The American claims that the deep underground shelters have been 30 years in the building, but are now complete. And you can always look through underground bunkers of the elites, and you can start seeing how they do it, how they enter these. Some of them have chutes that they drop down into some kind of boat or quick getaway that'll lead them to the destination they need to get to. Others have chutes in their chair in their office that they go down below the basement. Then all of a sudden they're 20 stories below a basement. It was also announced when it was suppressed, no government agency was allowed to ever discuss it again. Keep it secret. Keep those black projects secret. So we're going to stay on the topic of these military bases for a second, and then we're going to start going through doomsday scenarios. We have some stuff on Mel's Hole. We have mystery booms. We have the digging underground. We have hollow earth. We got a lot of stuff that, goes around this underground topic. I thought this would be a fun topic for everybody. Well, welcome, everybody. I saw a couple people. Andy says, what do you mean by black projects? Well, use your imagination, my friend. Social Observer for $2 super chat says Phil Schneider, yes. Samuel GWR says peace and chicken grease for $5. Glitchmod says Dave is not naughtier for $1.99. And Glitchmod said Davey can smell me through the internet with that nose. Well, I hope you're doing good on your naval ship protecting all the pedophiles, my friend. And I appreciate the $4.99. Thank you very much. If anybody else wants to help out the channel before I forget to do this, you can also use PayPal and Streamlabs, and the Google overlords will not take 40% of your money, but everything's appreciated that comes in. I obviously appreciate the super chat. So PayPal, Streamlabs, thank you guys. Nothing obligated. Always appreciate it. In this country, during the early 1950s, numerous subterranean bases were built that would allow the president and certain members of his cabinet and Congress to survive a nuclear attack. We've been building bases since World War I that were pretty impressive. But that's when we were learning it really didn't become a real pressing matter to have deep military bases until the nuclear age. And until that age, we have not only had nuclear weapons, but delivery systems that were sort of like bunker busters that could deliver nuclear weapons deep under the rock before detonating. So they had to keep up, with the weapons of the times and everything else that was being developed. As the weapon systems were being developed to take out deep underground military bases, the deeper they went and the more sophisticated they came. Now, the subterranean highway in America is like a freeway, except it's underground. The highway depends on electric motors for trucks, cars, and buses. For the paved roads and it's for its limited travel, there's another style of transit for the freight and for the passengers, and that is for rapid travel. The worldwide network is called the subglobal system. It has checkpoints in each and every country. There are shuttle tubes that shoot the trains at incredible speeds using a magnet, maglev, and vacuum method. They travel at a speed that excels the speed of sound. Part of your question involves the location of entrances of the base. The easiest way to answer that is to say every state in the USA has them. Frequently, the entrances are camouflaged as sand quarries or mining operations. Others, complex portals, are found on military bases. New Mexico and Arizona have the largest amount of entrances, followed by California and Montana. The shuttle system is a transportation system connecting underground installations together. It covers the entire continental U.S. and extends through Central America and Brazil and into Argentina. Now, you always hear the elite have their underground bases or their doomsday bunkers that they like to have all set up in case if the world is going to fall apart. As the Cold War heated up in the 1950s, the US government devised top secret plans to ensure the survival if the Soviet Union launched a nuclear attack. These continuity of government preparations included building government officials out of harm's way and moving these high-ranking officials out of harm's way, from a White House at sea to a subterranean capital at a posh resort. So they have one called the Greenbrier White Sulphur Springs in West Virginia. 4 decades, the most ambitious Cold War hideout for the U.S. government was hidden in plain sight at a mountain retreat 250 miles southwest of the capital city. They had something called the Floating White House. Beginning in '62, 2 special Navy command ships would be the floating ship to get them to these other locations. There's one called Groves Park Inn in Asheville, North Carolina. The Supreme Court's doomsday digs would have been more luxurious than those of Congress and the White House. The nation's highest court decided in 1955 that in case of an apocalypse, it would convene inside of one of 3 banquet halls of the palatial Grove Park. And you guys have seen numerous things of these. Cheyenne Mountain, a very popular one. And not only do they use these things, but your high-level CEOs like Bill Gates, your high-level CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg all have bug-out plans where they can leave the location of their business by the push of a button. There's rumors that Bill Gates has one that drops him down into a boat in an underground, tunnel system with water. He jet skis out of there, and then he gets to go to his underground military base. So these people will all be fine. They can all be fine during the pandemic. Now, you guys may have heard of mystery booms that we're having a couple years ago, and everyone was asking a lot of questions about these.
Serious boom noises outside Bloomington. Well, they're actually waking people up almost every night.
A lot of people wondering about this. They're fed up, and tonight they want answers. Fox 59's Mike Sullivan went to Bloomington to find out what could be behind these mysterious noises.
We are all afraid of what goes bump in the night.
To me, it sounds like really loud fireworks.
Like a shotgun times 10.
I'm thinking cannon.
The unexplained, the unidentified, it keeps children awake.
And then it's hard to get her back to sleep after she hears that noise.
This piercing horror film plays out near Stanford, just outside of Bloomington.
It happens nearly every night, and it starts around 10 o'clock.
I'm going to say 4 or 5, maybe 6 times a week. It's random.
The mysterious booms haunting neighbors for the past 2 weeks, leaving everyone on edge.
The neighbor's dog, she starts pacing in the early evening because she knows it's coming.
Nearly every neighbor has a guess, but few know a boom like Ronnie Campbell.
Been around quite a bit of it.
During a tour in Afghanistan as an infantry medic, his truck was hit by an RPG.
It just blew the front end of the truck apart, blew the wheels off the side.
His hearing hasn't been the same since, but that noise still reaches his bedroom.
It's gonna be more like your cannonball.
Neighbors keep gesturing, saying it's over there, suggesting here, near Kirksville and Harmony Road.
It rattles the whole wall. Yeah. I mean, the whole house shakes when it happens.
The Yorks live at the epicenter, their 8- and 9-year-olds first telling them.
Something exploded at our house.
It looks like daylight outside when it happens.
However, the flash never goes in the air like a firework.
It looks like a homemade bomb, kind of.
It appears this mystery remains just that. Near Bloomington, I'm Mike Sullivan, Fox 59 News.
Very strange.
Yeah.
So far, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office has no reports, despite people saying they have called in.
Sheriff.
No reports. Let me quickly take care of some of these super chats. Glitch Mod for $1.99 says, Davey, don't do something me out and then tell me about me. I don't know what that means. Let me try to see if I can see this next one. It's not showing up yet. I gotta make my screen bigger. Hold on. Alright, I just gotta wait for that next one to come in. But Glitchmod sent another one that was $1.99, so we appreciate you, my friend. There's certain words you're gonna put through super chat that I'm just not gonna be able to read, but I appreciate the super chat, obviously, and I appreciate everybody being here. Okay, we're gonna have to move on to another story here. And we're gonna set up with these underground military bases. We're gonna set up about these booms and what else is going on. I'll show you some images, and we'll try to show the connection between these loud booms everybody is hearing and the underground tunnels. Could this be them building during the time which is making these loud noises?
A late-night loud noise that will not let up is plaguing a part of Pennsylvania. No one seems to know the source of the mysterious booms. Top investigators are now helping to unravel the mystery in Springfield Township, Haycock Township, Milford Township, and Quakertown. That's where Eyewitness News reporter Alexandria Hoff is tonight. Alex?
Yuki, this is a wild story that just seems to keep on getting stranger. Now, between calls to police and posts on social media, hundreds of people say that they have heard and been shaken by this explosion-like sound that rocked them out of their beds in the middle of the night. And without a clue of what is going on, local police have gone to state, and state police have now gone to federal investigators. Here in Upper Bucks County, something has been going bump in the night.
I thought maybe somebody was making a tunnel or space junk fell out of the sky.
From poachers, gunfire to explosions to sonic booms.
There has been no shortage of theories, but still no answer as to why so many residents have been jolted by a mysterious and near deafening boom sound.
It's a rumble. It actually rumbles the ground like an earthquake would happen, but with a loud
I've been in the military. I've got experience with explosives. I was a Navy diver, and that was definitely not a gunshot.
Local police municipalities have been receiving reports of the booms since early April. A majority of the reported sounds have taken place between the hours of 2 a.m. and 4:30 a.m.
I heard it at 2:35. That was, what did I say, April 30th, I think it was that morning.
Janice Crompton of Haycock Township and her daughter heard the booms on 2 occasions.
It's like an explosion, and of course, it actually shakes your house.
Okay, really quick, let me catch up on these super chats. Glitchmod says, smells like Palestinian meat for $1.99. Thank you, my friend. Social Observer says, what is your favorite Q moron streamer? We'll get back to that on another day, but it's probably Jordan Sather, as far as to make fun of, that means. Glitchmod says, Night Brother, keep up the good work. As always, Glitch, it's a pleasure to see you. And Julian Sanders donated $3 through Streamlabs, no comment. Serge says, Glitchmod is drunk and I'm a homosexual. Well, thank you guys. Let's, I don't want to turn some people away by everybody we're having a good time, just hanging out. I really appreciate the super chats, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for keeping me afloat and keeping this channel to be able to do these weekly streams. I love the Spooky Sundays. I'm so glad we made this show. Yes, and I went dark mode. I was hoping Johnny would appreciate the dark mode. Eerie Fairy said it. Hey, Rich. Good to see you. Just seeing who's here. Waterhead. What's up, Finjiri? Awesome. Good to see everybody. Just going to write hey all in the chat. And then we'll get right to the next topic here, guys. Glad to have 200 people around this channel. Johnny, it's much better. Yeah, he enjoys the dark. All right. Shrug says they love Spooky Sunday. Sorry, I don't want to misgender you. All right, perfect. So the New World Order underground bases. And then we'll have photos here. Photos of the United States Air Force tunnel boring machine at Little Skull Mountain, Nevada, USA, December 1982. Now, a lot of people think these boring machines and other, tools and probably explosives they're using underground to blow out these tunnels could be the loud booms everybody's hearing. Many people have different hypotheses on what these could be. This is a $13 million tunnel boring machine used for the tunneling at the Nevada test site. Remember that Area 51 is part of this test site. Many other types of TMBs are used in many government agencies. We have a much bigger one here. As you can see, they all love standing in front of it like that. They say that there are 132 in the United States and an average of 5.3 to 7.2 cubic miles, and the size at an average of 1.5 to 4.5 miles underground. Built by and large, most of them in areas anyway away from geotectonic areas. But there's going to be lots of new geotectonic faults. A lot of people have said that these sinkholes that we see constantly falling into the ground, falling into the pits of hell, is because we're doing so much digging underground that people, the ground is starting to weaken, and that's why you get these sinkholes. Or they could just be natural. It's just one of the theories. Why are they rushing to do this? Because they know that catastrophe is coming. And coming from the illegal sale of drugs and all the other things they do in the United States, there's at least, by conservative estimates, $250 billion to a $500 billion of illegal drugs just sold in the United States that goes directly into the underground budgets. 90 to 95% goes to the DUMBs, deep underground military bases. And there you can see another map. This would be California to your left, all the way down to Texas, and they just show how these underground bases are connected, and they usually do this through, like I said, a hypersonic rail that can get from one place to another place within seconds. Deep underground military bases and American's 14,000 mile per hour secret transit system. As some of you might know, U.S. is rumored to have a very high-speed transit system. It is used anywhere from for anything from shuttling workers around secret underground bases to use by favored corporations, shadow government personnel, black ops, etc. It is rumored to cruise at speeds of 14,000 miles per hour. Now, like we were saying with these booms and where they could be possibly be coming from, I'm going to pull up this report right here. Shout out to Hemingway. It says, love spooky Sundays. Well, thank you for that just nice, fun comment. Hemingway, $5, love spooky Sundays. So, are deep underground military bases responsible for window warping booms in Sonora, California? For years now, residents of Sonora have been hearing a window shaking loud and so far officially unexplained boom that always happens between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. daily. Inquisitor reports that the explanation floating around Sonora from the local geologist is that an army depot in Hawthorne, Nevada, all the way across the state and behind a mountain range, which disposes of old munitions like bombs, might have been what residents are hearing. But they do have so many old bombs to dispose of that they do it a daily, every single day thing, even on weekends and holidays without fail for years. We've been hearing this for a long time. Are they doing it all day, every day? Why would Sonora, California, of all locations near Hawthorne, be seemingly most affected, the city of all? Besides, even people who work at the depot aren't hearing the booms regularly. On top of that, not only are they like clockwork, but these have been described as deep, low booms, which can almost be felt by the people who live there. In fact, a friend who lives near Sonora said that sometimes they can actually see their windows warp during the booms. So what is it? Lots of wacky conspiracies, of course, floating around out there. But one in particular sounds a lot more plausible than an old weapons depot. That's a 3-hour drive from Sonora. DUMBs, deep underground military bases. We all know there's an extensive network of them, which has been significantly expanded since 9/11 and the creation of Homeland Security. And we're all just supposed to put our fingers in our ears and go la 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 and pretend like they don't exist. We have a vast tunneling project underground. We obviously have that. The fact that they would try to deny it, I don't even know if they try to deny it anymore. Social Observer with a $4.99 super chat. I'm just maxing out my credit card for people I like on YouTube. Debt will be eliminated soon, or will it? Bahaha, trust the pandemic. Yes, thank you, Social Observer. Oh, yeah, well, don't worry. Whatever trouble you're going to get, Trump will personally come and hand you the money. We all know that's going to happen. This is so funny. Oh, I see L here. Very nice. Blop. Good to see everybody. Okay, let's see what we're going to move to next, guys. Okay. Let me make sure I have this set up right. I want to get Mel's Waters.
Distance. He asked who I was, and I let him know I own the property. I then asked to talk to the officer in charge.
71295.
How do you pronounce the name of your town, Manastash?
Manastash.
Manastash.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Actually, I'm in, right now I'm in a little town called Ellensburg.
Oh, I know Ellensburg. All right.
You must know about a rodeo here then.
Oh, sure.
Okay, well.
This is the little story called Mel's Hole. You guys may be familiar with this from old Coast to Coast episodes, guys. Just a very fun little story. So Mel Waters, excuse me, and the Devil's Holes. Somewhere in the wilds of Washington State is a bizarre geographic anomaly that locals believe may well be a gateway into another dimension. While the legend of the Devil's Hole allegedly goes back for decades, if not centuries, the public at large did not become aware of the phenomenon until 1997. When legendary radio host and paranormal enthusiast Art Bell invited a man named Mel Waters to be interviewed on his globally syndicated radio program, Coast to Coast. Now, Mel Waters is a captivating character who claimed to be the owner of an unusual piece of property located near the Manastash Ridge, Washington. The property, which is adjacent to the Yakima firing range near the Hanford Nuclear Reservation, was in and of itself nothing special, but situated on an isolated portion of the acreage in a geological irregularity, a hole to be specific, that was said to bear strange and arcane attributes that could only be found at one other place on the earth. For decades, residents of the Ridge have talked about one of the most unusual aspects of the sprawling landscape that hallowed their hometown. Hidden nearby on a densely forested parcel of private property was a seemingly bottomless well that was surrounded by an aura of mystery and danger. This unfathomably deep pit was said to be about 9 feet in diameter and was shored up with hand-placed bricks to a depth of nearly 15 feet until it gave way to the earthen walls. The hole had become known to locals for generations and to Native Americans before them, and had been used as an unofficial dumping ground for everything from defunct refrigerators to old tires and television tubes, livestock, and pet carcasses. They would just literally throw everything down this hole because it's just an anomaly. Art Bell, these shows used to be the best, just these crazy stories that would come on. What disturbed those who utilized this illegal dumping ground most was the fact that no matter how heavy the object being discarded, those that tossed it into the void never heard it hit bottom. This led some people to think more supernaturally inclined things were happening in the region and started calling the thing the Devil's Hole. And rumors quickly spread that this never-ending crater tunneled a direct trajectory to Hades, making it, in effect, a highway to hell. Now, he called in the Coast to Coast multiple times, and we'll be listening to part of those calls as I go back and forth to the article we have here.
So, yeah, we've been there for several years, and, we just take all, we take all of our trash, rubbish, anything we have that we have to get rid of, we take it, throw it in the hole. Everyone's throwing their stuff in the hole. The people from around there throw all the stuff in the hole. I mean, it's just been going on for a long time. Well, I got this thinking one day, how come this hole is not filling up? It must be an awfully deep hole.
That's a good thing to consider, sure, as you throw stuff in it for decades, literally.
And so, I used to be I would say pretty close to a professional shark fisherman. So I had a couple of huge fishing reels, went out there and started letting the line down. I figure after one...
Did you weight the line?
Oh, yeah. There's in fact, the original line is still down there. I've just been adding to the line and keeping track of how much line I have used. So I've not reeled it in.
How much weight is on it?
There's a 1 pound weight at the bottom of it.
1 pound weight, all
1
right.
pound weight. It's a triangular 1 pound weight.
Okay.
And so that's at the bottom of it at first.
So in other words, it would go down kind of like a plumb bob.
Exactly. In fact, I have a rigged across the center of it there, and it goes straight down from the center there. And occasionally I try to move the line there, but when you're moving that much line, you really can't do a whole lot with it. But it seems to, there seems to be, it's not resting against anything at this point here, and it continues to go down freely. And so when I was out there earlier, I let out a little bit more line. And
so you actually went out there tonight after I read this?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Well, it's not too bad out here right now. It's only about 25 degrees, so it's not too cold.
Have you ever heard anything coming from any sounds or anything?
Well, the normal thing to do is kind of like yell into it there, to see an echo, and I've never heard an echo come out of that thing.
No echo.
At all. That's one of the first things I noticed about it. As usual, I brought the dogs with me. They wouldn't go anywhere near the damn thing, and I went back to the Suburban and hung out over there, so it was kind of... if I try to bring them there on a leash, they'll just dig their feet in. They do not want to go anywhere near the hole. And so that's, I don't know. It's just...
Well, you've got miles and miles of...
Yeah, I think, I'm measuring it by feet. I convert feet to yards, so I don't know how many miles that is. I assume it's a fair number of miles.